I had a dream last night about aliens, and I'm going to share that with you. I think this weather outside my window here is quite indicative of what's happening to the world. The darkness is closing in, even though it's daytime. So anyway, here's my dream. I was in my previous home with my daughter and some other people. I knew I had a homework assignment of math calculations, but I'd put that aside because I was more interested in my end times ministry, working on that. And that's how I thought of my website in my dream. Suddenly, in the house, I heard the song Starman by David Bowie. Now, in the next scene, my husband and daughter and I had tickets to what I think was a football game. I'm not quite sure. This was going to be in a huge, huge stadium. As we walked in, Andy Williams, the singer, was at the door to greet us. Now, I haven't heard Andy Williams a long time. I never really listened to him. He was for old people. So God put him in my dream for a reason. I'll get to that. I knew we had left our tickets in the car in the dream, but I was related to the man behind one of the counters. It was like he was an owner of the stadium, or he had some other very important role there. So it was okay that we were in there. We were just kind of walking around, and my husband and daughter left, and as I walked past the counter, I heard a song playing over the loudspeaker by Frank Sinatra, and the song was New York, New York. Now, people were going off to the right of me to get in, but since my family had left, I felt I should track them down. I knew we had front row seats. In fact, the seats were on the field, way back, against the edge, but still they were right on the field. And I started walking down the hall towards the field, and a young child ran past me, and he was like a blur. I mean, he started out running as a young child, but then he just blurred right past me. And I did not know I was dreaming, so that kind of freaked me out. And I asked a man nearby if he had seen the child change to a blur, and he indicated he saw something, but he wasn't sure it was a blur. I then went out to the edge of the field to sit down where my family was, and I saw that there was going to be a big TV announcement. So we all got up, we looked behind us because it seemed like there was a glass media center or a box seat behind us with rows of TVs at the top. Now, from Fox News, Shepard Smith was on, and he was praying. I wanted to record this announcement that was going to happen, so I got out my iPad, but of course it would not record because it's in a dream. However, on the front of my iPad, I did see an alien icon, and it wasn't the picture of an alien, it was like alien writing, like curves. Okay, that was the end of my dream. Now, later on, after I woke up, I was thinking about this dream. This was in the middle of the night, and I was thinking about how when the aliens do appear to us, they'll be like the tall whites or the Nordics. That's how I think they'll appear. And right as I was thinking that, I had a vision of a door open, and a gray alien popped his head in and looked right at me with great big eyes, as if to say, no, there's going to be some gray aliens here as well. Now, if you watch the David Bowie video that I'm going to put a link to, there's a gray alien in that, and that's what my vision looked like, that alien right there. Also during the night, as I was awake, I recall hearing words about a sound stage. In a previous dream I had posted on my vision page, I had prayed and asked the Lord what I would see in this physical body before I'm translated, and He had given me a dream about seeing a UFO in the sky and hearing about an alien choir. I was reminded of the Borg from Star Trek television shows and movies where they talk about hearing their call, their song. Now, Ezekiel 28 gives us a lot of information on Lucifer, and he was possibly in charge of the music in heaven. While many people complained back in the 50s and 60s about the introduction of rock and roll as satanic music, I think you'll agree with me now that rock and roll has nothing on today's lyrics. Now, at the same time, though, when these aliens show up, and by aliens I mean fallen angels and demons and familiar spirits, all these horrible things, I believe they will bring New Age music to its height and possibly condemn the music of today, teaching that their more ethereal music is of light and love. That's how they deceive, because people will agree and go, you know what, they're right, those are bad lyrics, but hey, this other music's kind of light and soft and pretty. And, that's kind of how they see it. Don't look at the light, as it were. They will say all the right words, and that's how they'll call us in, not us. We will know better, but many people will be deceived. Now, here's the interpretation of the actual dream. I've been pondering aliens since I was a little kid, and this is why I might have been in my previous home, because we lived there quite a while and our daughter went to school there. Again, on that David Bowie video, there's a picture of electricity or some type of calculation. So for me, when I watched that, and that was the only video I watched of that song, Starman, that the picture of the electricity was confirmation of what I was shown in my dream of my homework assignment. I interpret that as putting aside I have put it aside as I no longer care about the world's teachings. I'm focused more on these end times and what my purpose is. We all are. The first lines in the chorus of Starman are quite interesting. It says, "There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds." Now, in the dream, we all have tickets to this show. Every human will know there are aliens coming. There are starmen waiting in the sky. If you don't hear it on the news, you'll see them in the sky regardless. But some people will resist. Ed Amos had a word about this, and I'll post the link. That's why I saw Andy Williams greeting everyone at the door of the stadium. The name Andy means brave or manly, so there will be some men and women and people that will stand up to warn others. Some of them may be us, and some of them will be just regular people that know better. They know aliens are bad. Many people will flock to see the aliens anyway, and in the dream, as they were going to the ride up to the stands, the people, so they could sit, I walked past the counter and I heard the song New York, New York. Now the first line of that song is "Start spreading the news." So I believe a lot of the media from New York will be complicit in spreading this news, that the aliens are here and they're here to save us. I don't think so. The child running past me was interesting. He turned into a blur at the end, and we know from others who hear from God that God himself will remove the children from the earth soon. The children will go first, and the aliens will take the credit. In her No Child Left Behind video from Barb, which is 278 Pike Lake channel on YouTube, God tells us that the news media will spread the lie that the aliens have taken the children. But we know they will be safe, and we are to calm the parents with that information. That's one of the deceptions, that the parents will want to go to get their children. We got to keep them from doing that. Now, I am unsure of why there was... Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. Having aliens arrive may be so traumatic to some that even a few people involved in the media, like Shepard Smith, may repent and change their ways, as I heard him praying. Now, last year, and I'll put a link here, last year, Mr. Smith likened Christians to haters when he said, quote, "Haters are going to hate," in reference to those supporting Kim Smith. But the arrival of other worldly beings may change his mind. I'm unsure why there was an alien icon on my iPad. It could be that Apple will force us to accept these new saviors, as they may liken themselves, similar to how Apple forces us to have other useless icons. Or the aliens may already be watching us. We know this is the case as the demons and familiar spirits keep track of us, and the fallen move their ships in and out of other dimensions. But there will be pockets of resistance at first. Pardon me. And I'm inclined to think that we will see the appearance of these beings in the sky while we are still in these physical bodies. And assuming the calamity starts this year, then the last half of 2016 is going to be very exciting.